Not all anxiety is caused by nutrient deficiency. Oftentimes people talk about diet and nutrition and nutrient deficiencies in general. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's in fact some truth to that. But if you're dealing with anxiety, it doesn't mean that just changing your diet alone will fix your anxiety symptoms. In this video, I want to share with you the one thing that's often neglected by people that are struggling with anxiety. So let's get it started. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Shaan. We help people around the world overcome their symptoms and go back to living. All that's happened is that their nervous system is just a little bit out of whack. It's always turned on. If you can learn how to desensitize your nervous system, have your nervous system come back to balance, these symptoms go away on their own. And so if you want more resources on that, I'll put a free ebook down below that breaks all of this down. It's great to just download that ebook, read through it, and if you want to watch these videos side by side, it will make a lot more sense. Rather than watching thousands of videos of mine, trying to piecemeal it, this really breaks down the core fundamentals, so the link is down below. Now, I want to start off by saying this, that without a doubt, there's no dispute on this at all. Nutrition and diet directly affect your state of being. Directly affects your anxiety in some degree or some capacity. That is a non-negotiable. Anybody that's looked at the literature, that's looked at the studies will tell you that that's just an undisputed fact. And that is true. One of the ways people describe this, especially when it comes to the nervous system, is that you have technically two brains, right? You have the brain up here, part of the central nervous system, but then you have another brain in your gut. This is called the enteric nervous system. This is where actually a lot of your neurotransmitters are created. And so the concept is that if you're experiencing mental health issues, that has a lot to do with your diet. In fact, because of the uprise of mental health issues like anxiety and depression, a lot of that can be attributed to diet and nutrition. However, if you were like me and you were struggling with anxiety, you tried changing your nutrition. You tried all these different diets. I tried things from extremes like keto, all the way to veganism, even raw veganism. I got so desperate to fix my symptoms that there was a point that I was eating 30 bananas a day because being a raw vegan, all you can eat is fruits and vegetables. And I was doing everything to make these symptoms go away. I tried every diet, paleo, Mediterranean, carnivore diet. I tried it all. Even though I might have felt a little bit better, I'm still experiencing a lot of symptoms. And so in society, we talk a lot about diet and nutrition and how that is directly related to, mental health disorders. And there is some truth to that. But the truth is also, is that if you're doing that and you're not feeling progress, it's not necessarily just a nutrition issue by itself. In fact, it might not even be a nutrition issue at all. We have a lot of clients that are nutritionists. We have clients that are fitness influencers, that are bodybuilders, that are like tracking their macros, eating whole foods, and yet they're still experiencing symptoms. They can't go to a grocery store without feeling intense panic attacks. They can't go on vacation because what happens if they experience extreme anxiety? They're dealing with these intrusive thoughts. Now, it's very weird for someone like me who, yes, I care about nutrition, I care about fitness, but I'm not anywhere near as good shape as them, and telling them that this is a nutrition issue. It just doesn't make sense. So what's really going on? Things like nutrition, things like diet, these are all part of lifestyle. This is important, right? Like this is important for health, sleep hygiene, stress management. These are all good things for health. But once you have addressed those things, then there's one key fundamental piece that you're missing, which is learning how to desensitize your nervous system, turning off your stress response and restabilizing your nervous system. What happens is that people often neglect that. They look at everything happening as a consumption. Basically, whatever they're eating is fueling how they feel. That's true, but that's not the only thing that fuels how you feel. The way you think, your thought processes, your beliefs. Do you know why you're experiencing these symptoms? Are you running away from something? These things will directly impact how you feel as well. Let's say we're out, we're grabbing lunch or something like that, and I say, yo man, your house is on fire. Did you know that? What's gonna happen to you physiologically? Well, your anxiety is going to go up naturally, right? Your stress hormones are going to go up. You're going to have an increased heart rate. Respiration is going to be a little bit more shallow. Your blood pressure is going to go up, right? Because your house is on fire. That's a stress response. Now, if I was to tell you, oh, okay, like to bring the stress response, all you have to do is eat the salad or eat this or eat that. You're going to be like, no, I need to address the problem, right? And the problem is that the house is on fire. Now, the house really isn't on fire, but the person perceives that his house is on fire. You see? So the issue is also the thought process alone. How are you speaking to yourself? How are you responding to your symptoms? Now, with that said, you also have to understand the flip side. Just because you know the principles of recovery doesn't excuse you from focusing on these lifestyle adjustments. You can't be focusing on the principles of recovery and still be eating Big Macs at McDonald's and wonder, Shaan, I still don't feel that great, right? So it doesn't work that way. You also have to focus on these lifestyle adjustments. Nutrition, diet is not a philosophy. It's not a religion. It's whatever works for you. But it's important to have whole foods, right? Whole organic foods, not processed stuff. Just the basics, right? I mean, it's pretty clear. You don't have to become a scientist about this. But once you've done that, then it's also about applying the principles of recovery. So it's not this either or game, right? And you can also apply this with exercise. You can also apply this with stress management. You can also apply this with sleep hygiene. I don't talk a lot about that stuff in this channel because I'm assuming you've already done that. That's baseline. And just because I'm not saying it doesn't mean that it's not important. And so once I started realizing that, then I started making progress. But what happens is so many times in society, we talk about diet in terms of what we eat, but we don't talk about the diet in terms of the information we gather. The fact that we are on our iPhones, the fact that we are on our mobile devices and we're connected to the internet, and there's so much information. The same way you would go and make sure you're eating healthy, nutritious food, do you have a diet where you're gaining right information? Are you watching the right things? Yuval Noah Harari, the guy that wrote Sapiens, Homo Deus, great author, he talks a lot about the ideas and principles he comes up with. He's, by the way, pretty brilliant in my perspective. What he does, he always talks about the fact that yes, he focuses on nutritional diet, but he also focuses on the diet that he receives from the outside world in terms of what is he gaining from the internet, like reading things, watching things. And so it's important to understand while you're on this journey, it's not just about what you consume through your mouth, but what are you consuming through your mind, through your brain. That's also very important on the healing journey. If you can focus on all these things, and if you're focused on all these lifestyle adjustments, if you're doing that and you're still experiencing the symptoms, then don't neglect the principles of recovery. And vice versa, just because you're focused on the principles of recovery doesn't mean you can neglect these things. Recovery is a holistic approach. So I hope this video helps. If you want to know the 5 principles of recovery, what the 5 steps of recovery looks like, make sure to check out this video up here. I'll see you in the next one.